Zanzibar. The planned nationwide bus strike is called off as talks continue between Tanzania Bus Owners Association and Tanzania Revenue Authority. And in sports, the national football team Taifa Stars prepares for AFCON. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The second vice president of Zanzibar's convoy was today involved in a road accident that caused 4 cars to knock into each other and the death of 1 person, an employee from the second vice president's office. The accident occurred in South Unguja district when second vice president Hamed Suleiman was on a government tour to Mtule. President Dr. Hussein Mwinyi was among those who visited those injured in the accident at Mnazi Mmoja Hospital.
We would like to thank the doctors and all those who have come forward to ensure that this issue is resolved and to rush the injured here to Mnazi Mmoja Hospital. But also all the great work done by the doctors, and that death is a promise of God. Road rules and regulations are there, and sometimes the drivers are driving contrary to the regulations. The program are broadcast on radio and television on road safety so people can learn. This caravan of leaders are usually driven by special vehicles, the escorts, indicating that this is not a normal trip, so you have to park your car at the side of the caravan to pass. We have 8 injured, 2 of them are seriously injured and 1 of them is dead. So one of the seriously injured is hospitalized, Hassan Isa, who is in orthopedic ward for further treatment, and 4 others have been hospitalized while others have been allowed to return home.
Ongoing talks between Tanzania Bus Owners Association TABOA and Tanzania Revenue Authority TRA on use of the cash float for the online ticket service, which TABOA claims is incurring bus owners heavy losses, have helped to stop the planned nationwide bus strike that was to start on 10th of March.
Maombi yetu tunashukuru serikali ni sikivu, yamechukuliwa na yanafanyiwa kazi. Kwa hiyo asubuhi kuko na sintofahamu kidogo kwa sababu sisi kuchelewesha kutoa taarifa. Kwa hiyo ndugu zangu wasafirishaji,
we are grateful to the government for being responsive. Our applications are being processed. We were late to finish the meetings last night, so we did not report early. But in the morning, the services continued as usual. The challenge is the electronic ticket system and the cost of each transaction. So TRA has seen it and are working on it.
Kwa hiyo tumekwenda kwenye mazungumzo.
We have talked with the government and TRA have seen this and that we have basic complaints which they are taking seriously. The challenge is immediately after the delay from our meeting, the information did not reach all, but we told them to continue providing services because we are still in talks with the government.
Kwanza kwa kufikia hivyo kwa sababu kuna pesa za watu zilikuwa zinapotea kwenye mfumo ambao.
We are grateful for the government because some people's money was lost in the system created by LATRA that existed in the beginning. We thank the government and urge people to provide service, and we apologize for the inconvenience.
Kama ilivyo kawaida, na tunaomba radhi pia kwa usumbufu ambao ulitokeza kia asubuhi, lakini kwa ajili ya kutokutoa taarifa usiku.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed the Ministry of Agriculture to speed up establishment of tea auctions in the country in order to reduce operation costs incurred by farmers and stakeholders of the crop. Now, Majaliwa gave the directive in Njombe region during a meeting with tea stakeholders.
There are experts who can come up with a proper auction system. that will be favorable to the country. So far, we have already set up all proper infrastructures.
Lakini tumeweka mkakati mmoja ambao tunatarajia utasaidia kuongeza bei ya chai.
In the country, there is no auction. Sales are done randomly. We have reasons to believe that once we introduce tea auctions in the country, there is a possibility of selling tea at better prices.
Hapa nchini tutakuwa na uwezekano mkubwa zaidi wa kuuza chai kwa bei nzuri.
26 nationals from Kenya have been sentenced to 1 year in jail after being found guilty of entering the country illegally. In its ruling, the Romba District Court in Kilimanjaro region said the accused committed the offense on March 9th this year. Meanwhile, a Rombo District Commissioner, Dr. Athman Kihamia, has called on residents involved in various development activities between Kenya and Tanzania to make sure they adhere to regulations.
Raia wa Tanzania wanapovuka mpaka kwenda Kenya.
When Tanzanian citizens cross the border to Kenya, they're dealt with very immediate effect, arrested, and sometimes for just not wearing masks, they are fined for their laws or imprisonments for 6 months. Citizens were complaining why when we cross over to Kenya, we are treated differently from them coming here. We use the laws. People should follow the laws, and I tell you, the people of Rombo, that we are safe. These entering the country do not have documents proving that they are not infected with corona.
Sheria imechukua mkondo wake, na naamini kwamba hili kwa wale ambao wanadhani kwamba labda tumefanya mara moja afu tutaacha, wajihadhari.
The Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Mashimba Ndaki, has directed the removal of 6 policemen who were on duty at Pugu Mnadani Police Post, allegedly after it was discovered that there was incorrect accounts on the number of cattle received by the officers compared to those from the head of the auctions office.
Hili ni swala la uadilifu. Ni mbaya na halifai kufanywa na mtu wako kwa sababu tumemweka hapa tukimwamini.
This is a matter of diligence at work. He is called Sergeant Ahmed. I want you to remove him from this station. He is not trustworthy.
Kuanzia barabara, kuanzia pale ulipoingilia kwenye kipande cha vumbi mpaka hapa.
We have requested for several improvements from the road to construction of walls at the auction center. There is no water. Honorable Minister, I urge you to help us with these major challenges traders are facing.
Na kunyweshea maji karo gambo lile mpaka leo maji hakuna.
Following the death of 3 children caused by hyena attacks in Nyangwale District Geita region, the District Commissioner Wilson Shimo has started a house-to-house operation on people who breed hyenas for transport purposes.
Kwamba baadhi ya afisi wanakuwa ni sehemu ya usafiri wa watu.
Some of hyenas are used as transport, while other hyenas are used as a means of getting food. That is why once hyenas catch an animal like goats, they take the animal home to where they stay. It is illegal to rear hyenas. I urge all who do so to release them immediately.
Lakini sisi wanakuja mpaka katikati ya mji ambao ni makao makuu.
Hyenas walk around even at the city center. They walk even in the afternoon. They have been hurting people because of the confidence they have. We think they might be having mental diseases.
Ni kama fisi 28 ambao tayari wameshauawa.
Almost 28 hyenas have been killed. Efforts of finding the left hyenas is ongoing because there is a group of traditional specialists from Shinyanga who have been helping us until now. They came with a technique of using dogs.
Wao hao jirani zetu wamekuja na mbinu zao ambazo wanazijua wao kwa kutumia mbwa.
55% of people suffering from kidney diseases who need dialysis services at Mbeya Referral Hospital cannot afford the cost for such treatment. This was revealed by kidney specialist at Mbeya Referral Hospital, Dr. Octavian Kasanga, when the Minister of Health, Dorothy Gwajima, visited the ward for patients with kidney problems.
Kila wagonjwa unaopata labda 4
In every 4 patients, 3 of them have no ability to pay for the charges. Almost 75% of our patients we usually help by doing contributions. Introduction of these services has helped much in the Southern Highland Zone because a patient with liver problems undergoes dialysis 3 times a week. Previously, it was difficult to get the service in Dar es Salaam, but here people from the nearby regions can easily get the services. Once a patient gets this service 3 times a week, it costs millions of money. In a month, it can reach up to 4 million shillings. Imagine how much it will cost for 1 year, almost 48 millions, just for dialysis and for only 1 patient. It is a lot of money.
Gharama ni kubwa. Serikali sasa inachofanya inajielekeza kwenye mapinduzi.
Honestly, the charges are expensive. What the government is doing is bring service revolution from machines, and all equipment used in giving out that service must be purchased at affordable prices. Definitely services prices will decrease.
Tunapoenda kuvinunua kule, tuje na ununuzi ambao tutavipata kwa bei nafuu. Tukishavipata kwa bei nafuu, huduma huku itashuka.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, ODM party leader Raila Odinga has been admitted to the Nairobi hospital with a general fatigue and body aches, his family has said. This comes following claims that the ODM leader has contracted COVID-19 with his elder brother Oburu Odinga, and Dr. David Oluchu said Raila's condition was stable. Uganda has advised the government under President Yoweri Museveni to take stern economic measures against Kenya following its decision to ban maize imports from Uganda and Tanzania. Kenya has banned maize imports from the 2 countries due to high amounts of mycotoxin found in the maize.
Uganda government should, with immediate effect, ban.
Uganda government with immediate effect should ban the imports of Kenya agricultural products. Studies have revealed that products such as potatoes, carrots, rice and mangoes from Kenya contains chemicals due to fertilizers used by farmers.
In Germany, lawmakers and government officials are getting hammered from all sides over their handling of the pandemic. The vaccination rollout has been slow, mass testing faces many obstacles, and the plan to reopen is anything but certain. At the same time, parliamentarians are under fire of pandemic profiteering. For more, let's turn to Berlin and William Glucroft, a political correspondent from our media partner Deutsche Welle. William, how does Germany plan to get back to normal life?
The German government's plan for getting society back to normal life, or some semblance of normal life, has been the target of some making fun of a bit, because it is so complex. It's many steps between now and April, looking at various points in public life, and depending on the incidence rate, whether it's 50, whether it's 100 per 100,000 people, it's very complicated. And at the same time, the lockdown itself is expected to continue through at least the end of March, but the government does want to have some kind of opening, whether it's bookstores, whether it's museums, whether it's theaters and schools, to get people back to some kind of semblance of normality. But it really does depend on how severe the spread of the virus is, and especially the various mutations which appear much more infectious. And critics are wondering how this kind of opening can take place when testing and vaccinations are indeed quite sluggish.
Obstacles to Germany's reopening plans?
Vaccines are going slower than many people would like. The pace of them is picking up. You're having about 7% of the German population so far vaccinated with at least 1 or 2 shots. And there are expected to be many, many more doses of the vaccine on their way, production being ramped up looking into April. And also by April, doctors' practices will start to be able to administer some of these vaccinations. So government officials say while it's been slow the last several weeks, the pace of things should pick up significantly. At the same time, the government has finally put a plan in place to, at least in theory, allow every person in Germany to get 1 rapid test per week for free. There are more than 80 million people in Germany, so that means 80 million rapid tests have to be available every week, whether through test centers for free or to buy from a store to do for yourself at home. Whether and how this is really going to work as consistently as 1 test per week per person, that still remains to be seen, but that is the plan right now.
William, what more can you tell us about the charges of corruption within Angela Merkel's Conservative Party?
2 members of Angela Merkel's party, 2 lawmakers in the parliament here, were found to have received kickbacks in the hundreds of thousands of euros for promoting certain companies last year, for getting contracts with the government, for providing those tens of millions of masks that were needed. Now, it's still unclear if anything truly illegal happened in these transactions, as politicians are in some degree allowed to do business on the side, but it's not a very good look for Angela Merkel's party, who is looking ahead to the first of many state elections this weekend. And although they're only on the state level, the state level elections, the results do have ramifications for results at the national level, and there will be national elections come September, with Angela Merkel's party really struggling to convince voters they're the ones to continue to stay in power.
All right, thank you so much, William, for those updates. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. Twiga Mine in Geita region has signed an agreement to allocate more than 1 billion shillings and handed over a check of 366 million shillings to Nyangwale district, which will be used to support people with disabilities as well as improvement of health services.
In this project, the mine will provide 1,225 million shillings for the completion of these projects, and in addition, the mine will officially hand over the service tax, which is 326 million.
Lakini kwa kuona umuhimu wa maendeleo, kama nilivyosema, tumepeleka milioni 200.
In view of the importance of development, we have spent 200 million on projects. We took 56 million, we sent it to the disabled, and the rest to use to buy a primary education vehicle.
Tunaongelea kununua gari la elimu msingi.
Tusiwe tena kujivuta.
We should not be complacent about making decisions and making projects and completing them on time and managing this money well.
Tusimamie vyema fedha hii.
Tanzania Women Chamber of Commerce TWCC has handed over an award for women who have excelled in establishment of industries, whereby the Minister of Environment Umi Mwalimu has called on women to look for opportunities to produce products that are environment friendly.
Lakini pia ni ajira nyingi ambazo zinatolewa kutokana na ujasiriamali. Na 60% takwimu zinaonyesha zaidi ya 60% ya wajasiriamali wadogo Tanzania ni wanawake. Kwa tunapozungumzia mchango wa wajasiriamali wadogo Tanzania, tunazungumzia ni mchango wa wanawake.
We have seen there is a need to work with stakeholders to come up with a project document to support women in agriculture so as to promote the cultivation of vegetables and fruits. I would like to tell women we should look at poverty from a different perspective. We should be eager to get out of poverty, and if we are not determined, we will remain here screaming.
And the government in Uvinza district, Kigoma region, has allocated 2,000 acres of land to military institutions to be used for oil palm farming, being implementation of a directive given by Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa.
Imetoa deadline kwa taasisi zote tatu. Mkurugenzi mtendaji ambaye anashughulika na mambo ya sheria za ardhi.
I have given a deadline to all 3 institutions for the executive director, Prison Army and JKT. Within a month, I want to see progress because next season, palm trees can be planted and we have been assured enough seedlings.
Leo kwa ajili ya ujenzi wa gereza katika wilaya yetu ya Uvinza, na hatimaye leo tumekuja kuonyesha.
We asked for the land for the construction of a prison in Uvinza district, and we have been given an area of 1,000 acres, and we will build a prison and we will engage in palm oil cultivation as ordered by the Prime Minister.
Na kilimo, na miongoni mwa hilo tutaendeleza kilimo cha michikichi kama ambavyo Mheshimiwa Waziri Mkuu aliagiza.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Position, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lynn.
Welcome back, and in sports news, the head coach of the national football team, Taifa Stars, Kim Paulson, has started training his team in preparation for the AFCON games.
To look at the attack, because you need to score goal to win games. Secondly, you also need to be good in defending, because if you can't defend, you won't score. I think it's the same like if you compare with a boxing game. If you think you hit the opponent, but he hit you and you are out. So you have to prepare to score goals, but also to defend yourself. And that's very important when you play international football, that you can defend well, keep a clean sheet, and when you get your chances, you can score. And the last area for our training is about the transition.
The National Sports Council has handed over the national flag to shot put thrower Sauda Said, who will represent Tanzania in the Paralympic qualifying competition in Morocco. Sauda Said leaves for Morocco tomorrow, and if she qualifies, she will represent the country in the Paralympics Games to be held in Tokyo, Japan in August this year.
Leo tunashukuru, tunafuraha sana, tunakabidhi wenzetu bendera wakaitetee nchi. Timu ya taifa ya watu wenye ulemavu ya riadha wanaenda Tunisia kwa ajili ya kuwakilisha nchi, vile vile kwa ajili ya kufuzu mashindano ya Olympic ambayo yatafanyika mwezi Agosti 2020.
Tanzania Football Federation TFF has called on various sports stakeholders to invest in youth football, as this will make it easier to groom talents who will later get opportunities to join football clubs and even the national team.
Grassroots, youth, mpaka wachezaji wakubwa, kwa sababu ndio eneo pekee tunaloweza kujenga msingi bora wa mchezaji bora wa baadaye. Kinyume cha hapo tutakuwa tuna struggle tu.
Sergio Oliveira's 115-minute goal shocked Juventus to send Porto through an away goals in a stunning Champions League last 16 tie. Here's more on the story.
Oliveira's long-range free kick deep into the second half of extra time went through the legs of Cristiano Ronaldo in the Juventus wall to make it 2-2 on the night and give Porto the lead over 2 legs. Adrien Rabiot's thumping header 2 minutes later gave Italian champions hope, only for Porto goalkeeper Agustin Marchesin to produce a stunning save in the final moments to ensure the Portuguese champions advanced on away goals despite a 3-2 second leg Juventus win. Juventus have now been knocked out on away goals at this stage for the second consecutive season.
And Manchester City will play the home leg of their Champions League last 16 tie against Borussia Mönchengladbach at the Pasca Arena in Budapest.
The game has been moved because the Germany side will have had to quarantine for 10 days when they returned home from United Kingdom. Premier League's leaders, City, won the first leg, which was also played in the Hungarian capital, 2-9. The second leg will still take place on Tuesday, 16th March at 20 GMT.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.